Hi, welcome to MGAM TV. On this week's show...
Written by Alexander Dumas.
A lot of people are saying that about the Bible these days.
What, that it was written by Alexander Dumas?
Don't be daft, Steve. It was written by Jesus.
There ain't nothing in this world but free. There's not a man I believe. Give a ransom.
I am dating.
Okay, first up, we are the movie, obviously.
Movie.
That's how we do these things round here.
This is how we do it.
We do. And it's just us two at the moment because John is away because he's got married.
Congratulations.
So, hope you're enjoying yourself. We was going to get him here on FaceTime, but he hasn't seen the film. So, we're going to do The World's End. That's what we went to see.
Yeah.
Is it The World's End or World's End?
The World's End.
The World's End by Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright.
Yep.
What did you think?
I was so disappointed. I really wanted to love it. In terms of the trilogy, is it the ice cream trilogy or have I made that one?
Cornetto.
It's basically the same thing. Yeah, in terms of the trilogy, Hot Fuzz, yeah, it's alright.
Well, it was Shaun of the Dead first.
Yeah, I know. But I was working backwards. Hot Fuzz was alright. Shaun of the Dead, I thought was amazing. I thought it was really, really good. And I just feel that as it's progressed, I've noticed how all three of the stories are very similar. And I think in terms of how funny I've felt them and how well I think they've been directed and how well they've actually worked in general, I think it has just gone downhill for me. Not to say that it's a bad film, because it's not a bad film, but my expectations for Hot Fuzz were as high as Shaun of the Dead, and that got lowered. So then my expectations for World's End was at least it's going to be Hot Fuzz, maybe higher, maybe Shaun of the Dead standard. And it was lower than Hot Fuzz, so I was just a bit disappointed by it, really.
Yes. I feel that it's along the same lines, you're right, with the two. It feels the same. It's obviously directed the same. They do their very sharp shots. It's directed very well. Music's use is very well. They're very good at what they do, pop culture and all that sort of stuff. And the storyline kind of sounded like it could be really good. The trailers kind of made it that, you know, it is going to be funny. It's going to be funny. It's going to be good. It's going to be engrossing as a film. I think Shaun of the Dead for me, even though I'm a massive zombie nut, isn't the best. I think Hot Fuzz is better.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's written better and it's more sharp and snappy. I feel that he wrote. This might not be how it worked. If you're watching Simon, then let us know. I feel that he wrote Shaun of the Dead, you know, as his first film, and he must have rewrote that to get it perfect.
Yeah.
And then while that's all obviously being made, he wrote Hot Fuzz, which I think is where he was at his peak in terms of snappiness and the way that the characters worked and this, that and the other. And then I think this just feels like he rushed it in 5 minutes.
It definitely felt rushed. As I said, in terms of how I think they're all very similar, I really, it really took away the enjoyment of watching World's End, because all the way through I was going, oh, I've seen this, well, something similar to this in the last two, because all of them are about one little community and something happens to the community and we've got to fight people, and it's exactly the same in all of them. It's, well, fight something. We ain't going to spoil it because you see it on the trailer anyway, and we're obviously playing it now. It's robots is the best way to describe them. They're called blanks. That's the thing, they've got the show. Zombies, bad people, cults, and then robots, and it's just kind of feels like the same story but with different types of bodies. Same story, different place. Just strange. Yeah. I mean, I know it's a trilogy and you've got to keep them somewhat similar, but it just felt too similar. It's a trilogy within that isn't a trilogy.
But I agree. Apologise for the sun going down. It's just we're doing in the daytime today instead of the evening. Filming. I think
that it definitely took away from my immersion of it though, because I was just there all the way through going, well, I know this.
no.
Seeing it before.
No. I disagree with that because I feel that I watched it and I kind of loved it until the robots turned up. I think the banter that the characters had was not in any of the other films.
I do agree with
the other films. It was just the two guys, and at least this was 5 of them.
And it did sort of have
real good banter between them.
It did sort of have that bit of emotion, and it did kind of. I felt myself reminiscing to when you were 16, 17 and getting drunk with your pals. And
there's a lot of drinking.
Yeah, well, it's about a pub crawl, of course, it's going to be a lot of drinking. But it made me think about the times when you are that young, and a lot of the story is about how nothing's ever going to get better, and you think that when you're that age, that's it, like, that's how great life is going to be. And it is quite touching to watch that, especially in, like, a comedy film. Because you don't really have that sort of depth of emotion in a lot of comedies. Yeah,
and then all of a sudden the alien-y robot-y things turn up and it all kicks off, and then it goes downhill.
Yeah, took quickly. Away from that.
Well, it doesn't. It wasn't until, spoiler alerts, well, not a major spoiler alert, but please feel free. We've already got your view on YouTube, so you can turn off now anyway. No, I'm joking. The last scene was shit. It fucking shit.
It was pretty bad.
Simon, you're a twat. Because the last bit was just bollocks. Because, this is a spoiler, the robots are all there, the robot alien things, they're talking to him, and he literally is pissed out his head, and he just goes, piss off, this is our country, our world, our planet, we don't want you here. And they just go, all right then.
Although...
And off they go.
Yeah, I know it was a bad ending, but I did like in that scene how he's got 2 of his pals behind him and they're so pissed. And so whenever he says anything, they're like chuckling or like...
they're like, yeah. Oh, it's like proper the boys, drunk. Like they're going to...
And that was... I think that kind of...
They're an alien race. They come down to the planet. They take over a whole town, and then 3 pissheads turn up and go piss off, and they go, all right then. Yeah, you could have ended it slightly better, Simon. But apart from that, I thought it was all right. Made me laugh. I don't know.
At times, I did kind of feel as though I was being forced to laugh. I was just like...
I don't know why you jumped over a fence again, and then failed.
Yeah.
Because that was done in every other... Yeah. I think that was definitely done in Shaun of the Dead. I don't know whether it was done in Hot Fuzz. And it's done on the trailer. That many times I've seen the trailer, so when it comes to the actual shot,
probably
you're just like...
been in any of the other films, but you've just seen it so many times.
It is. It's the other guy runs because they've got to go across the gardens on Shaun of the Dead, and he ends up falling on the fence. But everybody laughs at the trailer. When it comes to the film,
I think that's the thing because we watch so many films that if it is one of those...
I have to hide myself from the trailers now.
If it is one of those films where the funniest parts are in the trailer, which is the same usually, for a lot of films,
all the time,
then you don't find them as funny when you're actually watching the film. And then the other parts that were supposedly funny in World's End, I didn't necessarily feel were that funny. I was like, but not like, that's hilarious. I was just like,
It felt a bit all over the place for me. But I'm happy I saw it.
Still worth a watch.
It's worth a watch.
I wouldn't go out and buy it on DVD when it comes out.
No. I think the best time to watch any of those 3 are really on an evening when you've got nothing else to do, and they will fill your time, and you're happy, and this one will do the same. Yeah. It will be one that my dad will go, that's all right, that was, I enjoyed that.
It's quite a family film.
Yeah, within
to an
reason,
extent, apart from the...
All the blood's blue, so you're all right, yeah.
But there is some...
C word.
Yeah.
A lot of. So if you don't like the word C word and you don't like blue blood, then you probably won't like it. But apart from that, it was all right. I think we're all a bit... even though,
just a bit disappointed.
What did you mark it and then...
Gave it 72... Oh no, not 72, 62. Just didn't live up to my expectations and could have been better. If it didn't feel as rushed, and if there'd been I don't know, I don't want to sound rude to Simon, but if there'd have been a bit more thought behind the storyline, then it probably would have been alright. Well, higher than 62, because 62 is still alright.
I gave it 75. The way that they worked it was that, yeah, as camaraderie and that was great. The way that they worked it with the aliens and the robot-y things, I think it kind of let it down, but that was the point of the story, but I think as it drew towards the end, it was a bit piss poor. But I gave it 75 because the sound and the directing was great, the characters were great, and the acting was great, and there's a lot of comedians in there, so if you like your British comedians, they're all in it, they all pop up and say hello, which is great. So that gives us a total MGAM score of 68%.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.